Hello and welcome to GameSack. This week's episode is going to be kind of a light one because real life has kind of caught up to us and we're real busy right now. For example, Joe's running from the law for that jaywalking incident he had last week, and I've got an intervention, got this nasty little flare-up that I need to put some ointment on real quick like after the show. Help save somebody's life.
But before we get into the episode, we've got a follow-up letter from Dwayne, and let's see what he has to say. He writes, Dear GameSack, thanks for doing the episode on portable gaming. I really like portable games and it made me really happy. So happy that I started to get better and am now in full health and playing with other kids.
That's great, Dwayne.
By the way, Dave totally screwed up the Game Boy battery life estimates. And where was the Game.com and Game Boy Light? Wow, you guys couldn't even include those? You guys suck. Dwayne. Thanks for the letter, Dwayne. And that's GameSack for you. Saving lives and making the world a better place.
Real happy you're feeling better, Dwayne. Real happy. So, Joe, what do you want to talk about this week?
You know, I have no idea. What do you want to talk about?
Well, I know some games that I definitely don't want to talk about.
Really?
Yeah. One of them, maybe like Bugsy. Have you ever played that turd?
No. Could you go into more detail about that one?
I could, but I'm not going to because I don't want to talk about it.
Let's check it out.
Oh, gosh, and here we have Bugsy. You know what this is? This is 16-bit shovelware at its finest.
Yeah, back in the days where every company needed a mascot with Tood.
Oh, man, Tood. You know, and the game starts you out with 9 lives, and you think, well, how cute this is, because, you know, cats have 9 lives.
Oh, that's so clever.
Isn't it? But the fact is that the game is loaded with cheap one-hit deaths. Graphically, the game looks fine, you know, decent graphics, but nothing real eye-popping.
I disagree. I think this game looks like cat vomit.
Well, it's colorful, that's for sure.
They even released this game on the Super Nintendo. It must be better, you think? Oh, not hardly. Look at them together. They both really suck bad. They even followed it up with sequels. You may think Bugsy 2 might have been better, and heck, it might have been, but it still really sucked.
You know, I just feel like this game was a half-assed attempt. I think if they added a little bit more effort, this might have been somewhat enjoyable, but sadly, it's just not. And that is exactly why I'll never talk about Bugsy on this show, Joe.
Fair enough.
And what game do you not want to talk about?
How about a game that I joked about in earlier episodes, like Madden Football?
Ew, God, that's a nasty game.
You know, I have to admit, I really did like this game when it first came out. It has cool music for a sports game, and the field graphics are kind of neat too. I never really cared about the football games released after this one because I felt this one did everything a football game really needed to do. The graphics never really improved. In fact, sometimes I think they got worse. Just look at this 96 version here.
You know, and I really don't care about real players. I don't even care what Kyle Orton did last week. I don't care about stats, and I don't need Tim Tebow on my team.
I'm not sure why EA brought out a new version every year, but it sure made them a hell of a lot of money. Look at all of these Madden games. Each one only serves the purpose to devalue all the others. Now, I did get the 3DO version of this game since there was nothing else to buy on that barren wasteland of a system. It has nice scaling 3D field and player sprites and fairly smooth action, but you know, it was still just a football game. In my opinion, there's no reason to purchase another football game ever. I am sick of football games. And that is why Madden Football will never get mentioned or any screen time in any way, shape, or form on GameSack ever.
Thank God.
Now, what is another crappy game from you, Dave?
Well, you know, there's so many out there, but let me put it to you this way. You're going to have to answer it in the form of a question. A hugely disappointing and boring game.
What is Jeopardy?
You are correct.
Oh, goody.
This game is just like the show. It's fun for about 5 minutes trying to guess questions to answers. And then, I just get bored and turn it off. Look at these digitized characters. They look horrible and very much like cardboard cutouts.
Yeah, much like yourself.
Hey, is this game boring?
You are correct.
Is answering questions in this game super slow and laborious?
You are correct.
Is this game only fun when trying to get your grandparents to play games?
Sorry.
Let me rephrase that. Is this game not even fun when trying to get your grandparents to enjoy video games?
You are correct.
Oh, God, that was bad. And that is exactly why I would never bore our viewers with games like Jeopardy. Ugh. Joe, if you were not going to talk about one more game, what would it be?
Well, how about one we get a lot of requests for, and I really don't want to talk about it. A game like Mortal Kombat.
Ugh, God, that game?
Yep.
Okay, well, let's do it.
Mortal Kombat. We really are not the best people to discuss this game. Even in the arcade, I thought it was very unappealing and ugly.
Yeah, and I thought it was trying to take advantage of the Street Fighter 2 craze, offering a game that was, more hardcore.
Oh, it's not more hardcore. It's just more violent. It's definitely harder, though. And yes, I do suck at this game. Even on the easiest difficulty level, I have a very hard time getting past the first few fights. I could never get the hang of the control, and I really never had any interest in learning it. Look, 2 of the characters are simply palette swaps of each other. How lazy is that? The Genesis version is supposedly the best because it has blood, and blood makes everything 10 times better. Of course, they came out with some sequels, and I can't really say what the main additions were other than more characters. Wait, what the hell was that? What was that guy doing? Was he talking smack about me? The 32X version was okay, I guess, but I still have a hard time caring about this game. Can you even tell the difference between the normal Genesis version and the 32X version? Yeah, there are some differences there, but not a whole lot. Sorry, I don't have any of the Super Nintendo versions of Mortal Kombat, so I can't compare those. Look how many palette swaps of the Sub-Zero character exist here in Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. They just get lazier and lazier as the series progresses. All in all, I'd say the series remains entirely uninteresting to me.
Yeah, Joe, I agree, and I could never get into that game either.
And that's why not a single episode of GameSack will ever feature a Mortal Kombat game.
Except for this one.
Oh, crap, I guess it does.
Yeah, it does.
And for now, we'll bid you farewell until next time, because next week we're going to have a frightening new show for you.